Disciples Making Disciples class is held on Monday nights here at Mission Grove. And it's just a group of us that get together who really want to be intentional on sharing the gospel with people that we encounter every day.
I've never been very bold in speaking to people about really anything, mostly because of my voice. Growing up, I've always had this voice. I was born with a defect in my vocal folds, and it's been a problem. Disciples Making Disciples has made me more bold in my sharing of my faith. And it's been wonderful to watch the Holy Spirit lead people to me and have me be cognizant of the fact that I'm being used by God to share the gospel.
So in the class, one of the things that we do is to really focus on what our story is and how can we relate our story to God's story, to the people around us. So God's given me opportunities to do that, and one was with this young girl named Alexis. And I've had a chance to talk with Alexis off and on and share my story with her, and then relate God's story to that, to find out kind of where she is in her spiritual journey. And as we've been talking about where she might be, she was never quite there. So one day I received a phone call from Alexis. She was so excited. She had to call to tell me that she had accepted Jesus into her heart. And it was a day that I was on vacation, and I didn't have that opportunity, but those things that I had shared with her before led her to that. And that just makes me so proud.
One day I was working with a guy named George. I hired him to do some excavation on my property. I'm building a house, and this was a big excavator, and I hired somebody random off Craigslist. He showed up on site, and we had problems after problems after problems over the course of a couple weeks, but every day we'd start with prayer. I just said, look, I'm a Christian. We're gonna pray before we start today. So we would pray. He would listen, I would pray. And after a few weeks, he asked if he could receive Christ, which was amazing. What we found out later was that his wife had been praying for him to find somebody to work for that would pray with him. I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know this till after he became a Christian. But it was awesome to see how her prayer and my prayer and his aunt's prayer had all been in alignment, because the Holy Spirit had brought us to the same point where we just need to pray with this person.
So now I have an opportunity to work with Alexis and help her, give her the boldness to share her story with the people around her. And that blessing all started when I joined Disciples Making Disciples class here at Mission Grove.
It became my ministry, not just building a house, but actually being a witness to those I get to work with. I think that without that group, without this session that we are doing, without this class, I probably would not have reached the 3 people that I've reached for Christ since we started this.
If someone says they're too scared to talk to people around them about Jesus, I would say I was too. But God has given me opportunities upon opportunities that I never expected before. But now I'm seeing those opportunities where I didn't see them before. And God has given me that boldness to be able to just speak to them right where they are.
People should think about joining Disciples Making Disciples, because quite frankly, it's a group of people that are in it with you. And they're all struggling with some of the same insecurities and worries and concerns about sharing their faith that I was. And having that group with me, learning the things that we're learning, using the tactics and the tools that we learn in Disciples Making Disciples, just gives us the confidence that we can do that and not screw it up.
If you're on the fence and trying to decide if this class is right for you, I would say do it, sign up.
It's been a wonderful experience knowing that God has a plan to use me to go therefore and make disciples of all nations, and having the tactics and the tools and the support system to do it and to celebrate that together has been awesome.